Hey folks, Scott here, Rogue Home Cinema. It's been a little while, been doing a lot of things in the background though. We do indeed have a brand new projection system to check out. So we love our video, and video's certainly come a really long way. There's a bunch of cutting edge brands, and this one I don't think we've ever even mentioned before on the channel, and nor do I see it too often anywhere else as well. Though it actually happens that the brand in this box were the first to hit DLP technology with a laser. So they're actually very cutting edge in their innovation. I learned a lot this week from one of the representatives global for the brand, which is Digital Projection out of the UK. So this unit we're going to check out. We've got a beautiful lens here. We had to wait a while to get the right sort of lens because Digital Projection does a lot of commercial options, and the lens we first saw this on would probably net about a 40-inch screen, and our viewing distance not quite appropriate. It'd be really bright. So we need a wider lens to get the job done, and indeed, a bit like a lot of the other professional brands, they do have separate lenses, so we can choose the right lens for the job. That is, how far away is the projector from a said screen size, and those lenses are therefore more accurate in what they're out to achieve. So, you know, rather than a lens that kind of zooms in and out and does a big range. So we're going to pop the lid on this, and we're going to spend a bit of time setting up. So it's just a bit of an intro of checking out. I've already set up the brand, haven't I? And thank you, Justin, behind the camera again. There he is. Digital Projection laser. This has 7,500 lumens. Is HDR, is 4K. However, my thing is color. We want great color, right? So a lot of the commercial world hitting the Rec 709 color space, the high definition color space. What we really would like is to be marching up into, towards, or beyond even the P3 color space, which is really the most common color that we're getting now on not just Ultra Blu-ray disc, but also like iTunes Movies, Netflix, and even Foxtel. So the sport can be deeper and more realistic. We tested that last year with Formula One. And indeed, when we went into the ultra format output of Foxtel, we measured our colors, and the red Ferrari was that much redder. So we want lots of color. So it's going to have the power, which means we could really go up to like probably a 5 meter wide screen with this almost. Though I'm going to measure what sort of color response we get from this as well, color range. The guys are really accommodating. I learned a lot actually about laser technology, and there's going to be some new models coming out, which is going to have the red boost laser, and that's something we've seen in the Sony 380 model. It's a big 140 grand Aussie dollar unit, which helps it to reach those P3 color spaces. So I'm hoping with a little bit of software, we can maybe go into like 90% P3 with a lot of brightness, and that's something that the Sonys do really well. They offer all the brightness of the unit, all the way up to about 90% P3 color. It's that sort of trade-off between brightness and color depth, whereas the Epson models and the JVCs, when they go to P3 color mode, they'll put a filter in place, they'll gain the color targets, but they'll also lose 40, 50, 60% of the light output. And when we're starting off with 2,500 lumens on, say, I've got a 160-inch screen in here, then we start off with good light and we end up lackluster. This thing at 7,500 lumens this thing's gonna look amazing. In fact, we've probably got too much light, so we're actually quite happy to saturate more color into it. So it'll be interesting to see what we measure. I'm looking for resolution, I'm looking for motion, I'm looking for all these sorts of things that build the foundations of a great projector, and then we're gonna be pushing to see how much color we get, and we'll chat to Digital Projection about what they could do for us with the new laser boost models coming out real soon, and how much extra color space we might be able to achieve without them having to completely rebuild and create a whole new color wheel system, which the Barcos do. Barco Residential, they have a P3 color wheel, and that's like 98% P3 color. Now, Digital Projection run RGB laser technology, so yes, just like the Christie's and just like the Barco Freya, we can smash P3. We can go all the way to Rec 2020 color. In fact, all those projectors are hitting like 98% of the most extreme color there is. This is like IMAX level stuff. And Dolby Vision style stuff. So they can do it. It's just whether we're getting it in this package at this price point. It's finding all of that balance. So with that, we'll look over here. We do have, to compare this projector to, in the middle, we've got the Epson LS12000, the new laser model, really bright. Not true 4K, uses pixel shifting to get the job done, and being LCD technology, you can, when you really push your viewing angles, you've got to be careful of how big you go of that projector, because you'll start to see the resolution build up of the pixels. Above that, we have the Sony XW7000 cracker of a unit, really good value for the Aussies, because that unit's $25,000 US, and thank you Japan. In Australia, it's $25,000 Aussie. That's a pretty good exchange rate. So very, very impressive. The 7000 up the top there. And I haven't actually done a full calibration to check the full color space, but we should be hitting about 90% P3 color with really great light output. And of course, the advantage to the Sonys is the black level. It's the Lycos liquid crystal and silicon technology shared with JVC. Well, they build their own stuff, but it's the same style of technology. So their black level is really good. If we get a blacker, deeper picture with good brightness, it's more dynamic, it's more impressive. We want pop. And below that is the, I should dust the lens, how embarrassing. We have the Barco Bauer CS. This is a 4000 lumen P3 color wheel laser. So it's a laser phosphor. It goes through a color wheel system still. It's specific for cinema use, so it's pushing towards the P3 color space. It has a beautiful big wide angled lens. You can see that. So this projector effortlessly hits the 160 inch CinemaScope size image. That's an image just under 3.8 meters wide from a throw distance around 4.4 meters long. So this is a serious lens. The chipset in this is 5.2K. So Barco actually bolt, for a better term, they connect DLP chips alongside each other, and we get a true 4K in the middle of the picture, and when it goes out to CinemaScope, there's actually more pixels there. So it's like 5.2K across. The Sony's true 4K in their chipset. The Epson is a HD chipset pixel shifting, and I'll have to double check for this specific model. The model numbers on digital projection are really pretty boring, so I can't remember it off by heart. And we know the new model change is coming for that extra red laser, which I'm really excited about, because I'm really sure we're going to surpass the normal color space really easily. Now this unit is around, with a nice lens, with a good wide angled lens, it's about $45,000. So it's a bit more than the Sony. And it's way less than the Barco over there at 70 grand, basically, with the lens. So be interesting to see what we get. I think it's going to likely have its place where we're pushing bigger screens. Would be cool, though. You know, high dynamic range. You get that done properly, it's very impressive. And we do have in the rack, it's behind the curtain there, the Lumagen Radiant Pro, which is renowned as really one of the best, or the best, tone mapping system, so they can convert the HDR, make sense of it for the available light output for the projection system. So very exciting. We'll see what this can do. Black level, that's a concern as well, though I know with, I think it's the next series along from digital projection, they have a high contrast lens, just like Christie do. So that will drop maybe 30% or so of the available light output. When you start with 7.5, 10, 15, 20, 25,000 lumens, you can afford to lose that. But really what you're gaining is the black level, and DLP isn't super famous for black level. So that's where the Sonys and the JVCs do pretty good for themselves. So we'll see what this can do. We'll give a report in the coming week. We'll maybe do another live today to give some first impressions. And really exciting to see what digital projection, less known brand, yet the inventors and the creatives and the first to actually create a lot of projection technology that the others are using today. So way more innovative than I first thought, and excited to get into it. So Justin, any thoughts on that?
Can't wait to see what it does.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's going to be
All right,
awesome.
guys, thanks for checking in. I hope it was really helpful. Thumbs up if you like that. Throw some questions down. Justin's also in the comments these days to make sure we don't miss anything, and we'll check in later. Thanks for watching.